on the eve of the AFC Championship, aka the First Things First Bowl. In this, not really a corner, just an oblong desk, Chiefs fan and reigning Super Bowl champion, Nick Wright. And the challenger from Ohio and Iowa and Louisiana. He'll go to your house and eat a sandwich and not let you have any. He waves the pom-poms for no man. It's Broussard.
Was there ever a doubt? They said, make us the biggest and best sandwich you've ever seen. Oh, I've got a sandwich fitting the evening.
Wait, what?
Because that's what they did, Brou.
You have to beat the champs week 1 or your season's over. Live from New York, it's the show that's preparing you for one of the most ridiculous 20 minutes that we've ever done and you've ever seen.
Which leads us to, it snuck up on us, KW. First Things First Bowl III. Week 4. Baltimore and Kansas City.
Season's on the line.
I'm telling you, what if Baltimore loses tonight? 2 1-2 teams coming to Kansas City, desperate for a win. First Things First Bowl III.
Live from New York. Oh, we're on the eve of one of the biggest moments in show history. It's not the rematch, what do they call that? The triumvirate?
The triumvirate.
Not the triumvirate. You've had all day to figure this out.
Triple, I don't know.
Brou, you're a boxing trilogy.
Trilogy. There you go. The trilogy. There you go.
I don't know. Triumvirate, triple.
I don't know.
You know what I learned from that montage?
What?
I'm due.
Oh.
The Ravens are due, baby. Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Oh.
Alongside Nick Wright, I'm Kevin Wilds. Chris Broussard is due. We're starting with First Things First Bowl III. Lamar versus Patrick. Ravens versus Chiefs. Derrick Henry versus Spags and holding on to the ball. DeAndre Hopkins revenge game. No one's mentioned that once. Xavier Worthy's return. So we're just here's Lamar Jackson on the ground. Okay? Career head-to-head. Lamar is down 1-5. What would another loss to Mahomes mean for Lamar Jackson?
From Lamar's perspective, if that happens, nothing. That is how he has to look at it.
Oh.
He has to be like, tough loss. We're not playing well. We got to get our act together. On to the next one, which is Houston. That's how he'd have to look at it.
Okay.
He also might have to go 0 dark 30, like LeBron James. Because that means turning off social media, listening to music instead of sports talk radio in your car if he doesn't already, and no TV. Because
he can still listen to Marlon Humphrey's podcast, right? Of course.
Well, maybe Marlon.
Okay,
maybe
that's
Marlon.
It.
Ravens,
okay,
yes,
right.
a positive teammate.
Right.
But if he loses this, and I mean it, like he has to just move on. He has to be like, look, he's saying all the right things. We'll see if he really feels that way. But every TV show, obviously this one with Nick, but others, it's gonna be he's 1-6 against Mahomes. He's seemingly conquered everyone. You can throw in Josh Allen, I guess, but except Mahomes. Even in a year where they look like the better team or more talented, KC's struggling. He couldn't beat Mahomes. Lamar is phenomenal in the regular season, been better than Mahomes the last 2 or 3 regular seasons, including this one, but can't beat him. Like, he would really have to just ignore all of that. So if they meet again, or any big game really, he will not have that stuff in his head. So that it's a lot at stake, but he's going to have to ignore it if he were to lose it.
All right, it took us to Friday, and the rest of the media, it's taken them, maybe it'll take them until Monday. But I didn't know we were allowed to look at this game from this perspective. Because not just this show, every show it has been, what would it mean if the Chiefs fell to 1-3? And of course the Ravens will be fine. And I'm glad we're doing it because here's the reality. If the Chiefs lose, while, listen, I'll still believe they can be dangerous. Let's just say they lose, and you fast forward, they're 7-10. and they miss the playoffs. You know what I mean? Let's just that what we have seen this first month is who they are. Then what that means is, you know what? It was the second greatest prolonged stretch in the history of the league. They're not going to catch the Patriots 8 straight conference championship games. It is a dip, and they have to actually retool a bit. But that's it. It will just mean they won't surpass the Patriots for the greatest consistent prolonged stretch in football history.
Right.
If the Ravens fall to 1-3, and it's not a fluke, and it's not a blip, it's that, they're actually not going to have a good year. They are the team that is going to go 7-10 and miss the playoffs. Folks are losing their jobs. We are talking about how Lamar has had this amazing opportunity when he is at the peak of his powers, and yet he still can't beat Patrick. Josh won an MVP last year, and his team looks like, potentially the 1 seed. And all of a sudden, did the Chargers come up and become, become the next team in the conference? The Ravens have so much at stake this game and this season. And that's the team. Lamar individually is staring dead at unprecedented owning by one great player for another. Like, Patrick has the greatest head-to-head record against another great quarterback in the playoffs of any 2 quarterbacks in history over Josh Allen.
Yeah.
And he currently has as good of a head-to-head record from 2 great quarterbacks other than Tom Brady, Matt Ryan. And with respect to Matt Ryan, he's not, even though he won an MVP, he's not Lamar. He would own them both in very different ways. And Lamar would be staring at that. So Brou's right. He would have to ignore all of it, but you can't turn off your own thoughts. Like, if Lamar loses this game, why would he think he'll win the next one? Like
and that's where you don't know what the individual is like, because we can sit here and try to play psychoanalysis and all that and think it's in his head, and maybe it will be. Some players are able to overlook that stuff. I mean, sometimes you just got to overcome. Obviously, LeBron had his issues earlier, Dallas and all that, and he overcame it. That's similar to what Lamar. It's not the NBA Finals / Super Bowl, but still, he would have to really do some soul searching and overcome that to get to the next level where he wants to be.
Would you feel the same way if Lamar plays amazing? Like his losses against Buffalo and Detroit, he had a passer rating of 144 and 148. First QB with 140 or more rating in 2 losses in the season. It's already happened.
I think it would help him. I think if he goes out, because in these losses, though, he's made, it's a fumble, it's an interception.
So not the regular season losses to Buffalo and Detroit. You're talking about
I'm talking about with the Chiefs.
Yes.
Like, even last year against Buffalo in the playoffs, like, he played well after making the big fumble.
Yeah, he had mistakes.
So, like, if he plays a clean game and it's great, even better than he was against Detroit where he's not getting sacked. Let's say you take away the sacks.
Okay.
That'll help him, because then he can really be like I'm over it myself. I know he won't blame his teammates,
help him.
But help him.
I don't know that helps John Harbaugh. Like, that's the point that I'm trying to make.
That you think Harbaugh's, if things go south, you think
if the Ravens were to miss the playoffs, John Harbaugh is going to be fired.
But you don't think there's any chance? I mean, we're not talking about missing the playoffs.
No, but if they
lose this game.
No. Nothing's going to happen. The Ravens aren't going to make any real changes during the regular season. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying, if they make the playoffs and lose in round 1, John Harbaugh's going to be fired. Oh, I think. You know what I mean? I think
they'll move him up in the organization or something like that.
Lamar, especially if it's what you're describing. Lamar's great, and they lose.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? You can't.
You will, and I don't know that Harbaugh would get fired. Maybe they, that's an organization. They might move him up, consultant, whatever. But if they go out early, like unceremoniously in the playoffs this year, give him some truth serum. And I kind of think even John Harbaugh might feel like it's time for a change.
So that's
not that he can't coach, he's not a great coach, but it's just time for a new voice. How many times are you gonna run this back?
Danny made the point yesterday of, if the Ravens lose because of the division they're in, even if they're not good, they'll be fine for the playoffs. I just want to hone in on that for a moment, then I want to go back to the Lamar stuff. Being the 4 seed in the AFC this year, which is what we're talking about. Oh, even if the Ravens are 1-3 and bad, like 9 wins the AFC North, being the 4 seed in the AFC this year is no prize. Because that means you are almost assuredly playing in round 1. Like, let's say the Chiefs win, the Ravens lose. The Chiefs are the Chargers. You know what I mean? The best wild card team. Like, that's not, for a team that is as S-Bob as any team in recent memory. Them and the Bills are like, you know what I mean? You know, basically the tied for that. It being like, okay, we backed into the playoffs and then are facing a gauntlet the whole way. And this is why I think Brou's right that Lamar's going to have to turn off the noise. But if Patrick wins this game, this is what it already looks like. Here are, and we'll kind of go in descending order. Multiple-time MVP against multiple-time MVP. Currently, Patrick's record over Lamar trumps everybody's by a lot. All right, well, that's a hard standard. What about just MVP versus MVP? Where does it fall? This is why, you know, our old friend Brian Sipe is making the show. But it is, aside from where's the one? No, that's it. Everyone on the left-hand side is just markedly worse than everyone on the right-hand side. The left-hand side is guys who, you know,
it's like legendary.
Right, exactly.
Tarkenton, I mean,
Tarkenton's not Bart Starr.
Yeah,
I mean, certainly Bart Starr's teams were considered the far better teams. And then if we just go, what about MVP against anybody? Again, you're seeing Brett Favre's the only one where it's like, hey, those early Packer teams couldn't beat the great Cowboy teams with Aikman. This is not normal.
I think,
and this especially because, sorry to interrupt, Brou, but especially because the last few years we have not looked at it like Lamar has had the worst team. We've looked at it as the opposite, that the Ravens have had the better team. So that's why losing this game when the Chiefs aren't whole and they're not playing well and they're even more vulnerable than they were last year and the year before, all those things, man, that's tough to get over in your head.
No, that's what I was going to say. Like, it's not like the teams are lopsided.
Yeah.
You know, the Ravens are viewed as if they're equal or better in a lot of these games. So he's got to go get it done, and he will.
Ooh.
Yeah. That's right. I'm due. I told you.
He's due.
You saw the montage.
You have to win this one. Everything that we're talking about Lamar also applies to you. You cannot.
No. I won't go that far.
Brou, you have to win this.
I mean, I am putting up numbers.
You have to.
I'm putting up numbers.
You have to win. All right, last night, helped by a classic one from the sports media ombudsman about the kickoffs. A faulty kickoff.
That's passer rating graphic.
Here's your passer rating graphic. Take a look. A faulty. Sam Darnold hit JSN for a 22-yard pickup that set up the Seahawks' 52-yard field goal to win it. Darnold moves to 3-1 in the year. Brou, are you ready to believe in Sam Darnold and the Seahawks?
Hold on. Before Brou answers, if we're going to do this game justice, it was the Kevin Wildes Bowl. It is a classic one by you. Also, if people didn't stay up late, Brou, it was a game-winning field goal, but it was a game-winning field goal aided by home-brought smelling salts.
You like those things.
Another pass.
Well, I figured that.
I don't think I'm doing
the first things first ball. Kevin Wildes Bowl. Buddy, the kicker who had just missed a kick ripped some salts. Come on, man, it's your game.
What percentage is this?
It's stronger.
You're right.
Didn't tell me.
Last time what is it?
Last time they were at like 12%.
This says 35%.
Wow, it was like 15% last time.
Yeah, we had like.
You know what?
Hubs, these are stronger.
I'm gonna leave you alone with that.
Come on, you got your own. You got to try it, Wildes. Wildes, you got to do it. It's your team.
I got accused
of
some
moment.
crazy
Brou
stuff.
can't do it.
You were doing wild stuff.
I mean, I was just doing what I've seen in the movies.
That was smelling salts.
I mean,
KW, you got it. There you go. You got to give it a good rip.
I like to
You
get
got it. Yeah, go ahead.
They're hitting hard now.
They're stronger. They're stronger.
They're way stronger.
I told you they're stronger. Oh, it's ruined.
Brou, you got to do it. That's what the people want.
Brou's got to give real analysis.
now y'all, you see, I would look soft if I don't
Oh,
do it
no.
now.
Well, then Bru's not
Buckle
going to
up.
be able to give an
Don't
analogy.
you just crack it?
Yeah, just
Fall
crack
off
it,
the thing.
Brew. Just crack it. I don't know.
I'm
if
not going
No,
both.
no, crack it
I'm
first.
not
Brew.
going
That's
one.
the
Crack it
problem.
first.
Crack it first and then
Yeah.
bring it up.
There you go. Oh, Brew got it good. It wasn't
That one
bad
wasn't
last
as
time.
bad as last
well, no,
time,
because
'cause I
last
didn't-
time you took
I
it
didn't
straight
do
to
one.
the dome.
Yeah.
All right, what's the question Bru's supposed to answer here? Now we're locked. We're locked like Jason Myers.
I am
feel
in.
better.
Let's
yeah,
do this.
exactly
Let's
right.
do
Are
this.
you ready to
Yeah.
believe in Darnold and the Seahawks?
I am ready to believe that Sam Darnold is a legitimate starting quarterback.
What? Yeah, no kidding. He was out there. He started the game.
No, I'm like
What's the answer?
legitimate starting quarterback that I feel good about.
Okay, that's better, I guess.
And I am willing to say the Seattle Seahawks are a playoff contender. I am not going any further than that.
Okay.
Because they're not on the level. Contender in the NFC? They're not with Detroit, Green Bay, Philadelphia.
They get Tampa next
We'll
week.
see next
and
week.
That could be a
But
good
I
spot.
think-
They're on extended rest.
So I think they're good. Their defense is really good. They get after the quarterback without having to blitz all the time. So that helps obviously the backfield, the defensive backfield.
Run the ball.
They run, they got a great run game. And Darnold made some nice
So can I ask you this
passes
about Darnold?
last night, and obviously clutch.
Has he escaped pumpkin zone? Where you never,
Yeah,
right,
where it's over.
where you don't have to,
Like
when-
Geno has escaped pumpkin zone.
and Baker,
Baker's
he's out.
by more than a year.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
so
yeah.
if people, again, if you're new to First Things First and you're like, what are you guys are taking smelling salts and know about pumpkin zone? It's the idea of, like Daniel Jones right now, firmly is on pumpkin watch.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where it's like he could turn back into a pumpkin.
At any point.
And Darnold, because he had such a great year last year, following it up with a good start to the year, you would think he escaped it, except the end of last year, the clock struck midnight and he turned back into a pumpkin. So my answer is to that, my own question, I guess, is he is not for me.
But he's getting close.
He's getting
he's
close.
getting close.
And right now, I looked it up, Brew. I just checked the odds. They are a slight favorite to make the playoffs. And I think that they don't need, listen, I said I have to audit my own takes like I do everyone else's. I killed this team for getting worse at quarterback, for opting out of Geno and into Darnold. Through 1 month, they have not gotten worse at quarterback. Darnold has played better than Geno. You know what I mean? And so I'm not ready to firmly say that's what it's going to be for the entirety of the year. But I also think you can have added optimism about Mike McDonald because of what Baltimore's defense has looked like since he
That's a good
left.
take, too.
You know what I mean? Like he was. They had the number one defense in football with him there. And so, KW, we've been calling you a Sam Darnold guy all year, and you're like, I'm not a Sam Darnold guy. But
I'm
you got
almost a Sam Darnold guy.
Yeah.
First of all, I got a
I
lot
will
of guys.
snatch him. If
No,
you don't, I mean, in a few more weeks of good play, I will snatch him.
I'm not going to
No.
fight you on that, though.
No.
I mean, that's because I'm a little
If
bit
you don't
pumpkin
claim
hesitant.
him, claim him.
But I've got so many guys.
These are
It's
the
like a
guys
club
I've
superstar.
snatched from you.
Oh God.
Ja,
A lot of
and
NBA guys.
Anthony Edwards.
Yeah.
I got yelled at by Adidas.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Wemby was never your guy.
No,
when you
Wemby's
tried
your
to
guy.
steal it. But Chet.
When did I bet
No,
on
hold on.
Chet?
Hold on. Let's stay here.
you bet on
Let's just stay here. I want to let Wilds take a mini victory
A
lap.
A mini
on
victory
Darnold.
lap, 100 pounds. I think I'm bleeding.
I know. I felt like I was bleeding too, bro. I thought my nose was bleeding. These
doing
things are
a bit,
strong.
just talking.
I kind of liked it. Give me another one.
What's a no, bro?
I mean, with the
Bro,
with
no.
the two.
Bro,
now
your
that I know how to
reputation-
do it. Now that I know how to do it.
I'll be
that
honest
was-
with you, you almost like took it too easy.
I was ready.
No,
All
don't
right,
do it
well,
again.
at the end of the
Let me
segment,
show
at
the
the end of the
graphic that we
segment,
already
show
saw?
the graphic, yeah. The passer
so
rating?
nice, we're going to show it twice. 100 passer rating since the start of last season. So look, I think when he was on this last year, Kevin O'Connell and Justin Jefferson pretty much got the bulk of the credit. So now we're 4 games into his Seahawk tenure. He's up here with some of the best quarterbacks in the league, minus Mahomes. So I don't know.
Yeah.
He's starting to get there. Here's a graphic that Mahomes is on, Dust, if we have
The
that.
game-winning drives?
Yeah, I
it's
mean-
him and Darnold, right?
So for a guy that like goes pumpkin, Now, would I have done that like sad picture? I don't know. For game-winning drives in the last 2 seasons.
Oh no, he's not sad. He's yelling. He's fired up.
Oh, he looks sad.
No,
there we go. Thank you. When you pull it out, he's fired up.
Yeah.
There had to be a better one than that.
Well, no,
It's hard
he's
to
like
tell.
fired
like
up.
that.
Yeah,
I thought he was like that.
Yeah.
And anyway, this kind of goes against the narrative that he's not a clutch guy because, and again, I think it's overplayed that he lost the last 2 games of the season, one against the Lions, and then he had a bad playoff game. But
Well, you don't put quotes on it. He had a horrible playoff game.
But a lot
he might
of
be overplayed.
quarterbacks
Had bad playoff games.
well, when you don't win the Super Bowl, sometimes you're like, oh, I probably could have played better in the playoffs.
Yeah, it would have been. It's nice if you have a couple good playoff games before your bad playoff game.
Get a little runway.
But yeah, listen. Today's a good day for you. Not a great day for your 2023 Super Bowl pick, Arizona Cardinals, but it's a good day for you.
That was my Bears pick.
Okay, fair. But I do feel like the Bears pick gets referenced quite often on this show, and I don't think and Marvin Harrison Jr. hopefully the very end of the game
Bounce back.
Turns it around.
I was very happy.
I'm happy he had those nice ones.
Yeah, he's turned into like a sympathetic.
Yeah,
figure
it's
that we're
really
all
weird.
Rooting
Yeah.
for him now. Okay, that's Seahawks host the Bucks next week. Bucks host the Eagles this week. Philly Sports Daily, my Eagles newsletter, all things Philadelphia and sports, had this headline: Jalen Hurts meets his final boss since Todd Bowles' defense has delivered 4 wins over Jalen. Meanwhile, Baker has been Mr. Clutch, 3 consecutive wins in close games. Is Hurts or the Bake Show more likely to look like the MVP?
Let me say this, because this is the team I picked to have the 1 seed and make the Super Bowl in Tampa Bay, and I expect them to lose this game. You know, I think that the cluster injuries on the offensive line, the plus Mike Evans being out is just it's a bridge too far for this specific game. If Baker is able to overcome that and they win this game, Brou, I think he has to be number 1 on Brou's ballot after this week. If they're 4-0 with 3 last-minute drives orchestrated by him to win games, and then end Philly's 18-game, whatever it is, winning streak, shorthanded. You know, again, assuming it's not because they have 2 kick return touchdowns. Right. You know what I mean? That it is a Baker-heavy game plan, which I think it will have to be, and they win. I think he surpasses Herbert and Allen as far as the most impressive first month of the year. Because Josh has, as good as Josh has been, it has been a balanced approach. And Herbert's got maybe the best defense in football.
Also some tomato cans. He's suffering from
but
the Bucks
played.
Yeah, I mean the Bucks also haven't played great teams, but not as bad as what Josh has played.
At least he gets.
Yeah, the Eagles
Josh
obviously
got
would
the
be.
Saints this week.
And so, like, I think he has a real case that if they are able to do this, that he's the MVP through the month of September.
Herbert would have to struggle or be really nondescript, I think, because Herbert's been phenomenal. I know he wasn't awesome in the last game, although he did throw for 300 yards.
And he had the play of the year in that game. Yep.
Because Baker's numbers aren't that great. I'll show him later, but his numbers aren't that great. He's just had these phenomenal game-winning drives. But I think Jalen's going to look more like the MVP.
Okay.
Tampa and Baker's been great in these last drives, but like I said, he hasn't been awesome throughout the games. And they've beaten 3 teams with a combined 1-8 record by a total of 6 points. So I think they're stepping up in weight class. They could be, this is not even they could be 0-3.
Tampa?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
They could easily be 0-3.
Good thing they have
and
Baker.
I think Philly's going to do what you and Danny want him to do and throw the ball more. And I think Jalen's going to have success with that. He always seems to when they let him throw. So I think Jalen's going to look great. If they don't throw, I think he'll look good on the ground and maybe run for a couple of touchdowns.
Hurts in the second half, 209 passing yards, 3 touchdowns. I'd like to see if this is like he can continue, like, oh, I'm on a hot streak from the second half.
Yeah, and if they're going to use more of the plays from the second half.
Right.
Hold on,
Throw the ball.
why are they?
I don't know.
Why are they playing the music? Segment's
You
not over.
love
You
these
said
things.
what the heck? They're rolling the animation on me. You guys better put the camera back on me.
Oh, you're going to do another one?
Yeah, we said we were going to do another one.
I'm not doing it. Bruce, too cool.
Yeah,
It wasn't
All right,
as bad
we got
as
it.
the
We're
first
back
time.
live? All right.
Nick really likes it.
Wakes you up.
Live with us right now, Mark Ingram and Matt Leinart. Matt, we're going to start with you. Are you surprised the Trojans are touchdown favorites in Illinois?
No, I'm not surprised. I mean, you look at both these teams, and again, I think Illinois is going to play a lot better this weekend than they did a week ago, but they did. I mean, they lost 63-10. They gave up a bunch of yards. And when you look at this USC team, they're just more consistent. And I look at the offense, I look at the run game, right? Lincoln Riley has finally kind of committed to the run game. They're better up front. Mark and I, we were just talking about Waymon Jordan earlier. Like, Waymon Jordan's a star. He was a number one JUCO player in the portal at running back. I think he's going to become a household name here in the next couple weeks. They're just better up front, guys. You know, they're playing better up front. I do think this, so to me, and I'm going to say this on the show, this is a prove-it game for USC. You have to go out and prove that you can win on the road against a ranked opponent, because the schedule starts to get real tough here over the next couple weeks.
Matt, you said it, a ranked opponent. And look, I don't know if it's just me, but I have this rule. If you get beat 63-10, you can't be in the top 25, at least not that week. Can we give it a few weeks? I mean, am I crazy here, or why are they still in the top 25, Illinois?
Well, by the way, Notre Dame started 0-2, and they stayed in the top 25. I mean, I don't know. I don't know who's voting for these things, but I think Illinois is a good team. And again, last year they had a great year. They had a lot of guys come back. I will say they got really banged up in the game last week. A lot of guys went out. I think that's a big question mark in this game. I'm with you. Look, it looks better on USC's resume if they win this game versus a ranked opponent.
True.
So we'll see.
All right. Mark, I want to go to the Alabama-Georgia game. It's one of the many great games this weekend. Very simple question. What happens at Alabama if they lose this game, which, by the way, they're favored to do?
Listen, this thing could go one or two ways for Bama. You get this game, it could be a lot of momentum moving forward. You know what I mean? But they just have to play better on the road. They haven't played good on the road. Lost their last like 4 or 5 on the road or neutral sites. Haven't been able to run the football, but Jam Miller's coming back. That should give a boost to the rushing attack. Haven't been able to stop the run, but getting Tim Keenan back on the D-line, that should be able to be a boost for the defensive line and the defense in general. So this team just has to play physical. They have to bring an identity on the road against a Georgia team who they're tough to beat in Athens. So they have to have the identity, the physicality to go out there. They have the talent. They have the playmakers to do it. You just have to go out there and do it. They have to be able to win this game, man, because it can get ugly.
Yeah, well, yeah, I want to talk about if it gets ugly, because here's the deal. Like, they're the 17th ranked team in the nation. Last year, I think they finished as the 17th ranked team in the nation. There's, 100 programs in college football that would take that in back-to-back years. Alabama ain't one of them. And they're at the beginning of the year, there were real expectations. Obviously, at the moment, I think it's already fair to say they're not meeting them. How loud is the noise right now, fairly, around the head coach, Kalen DeBoer?
I think the noise is loud. You hear it. All of us hear it. And I'm sure they hear it down there as well. Like you said, the standard at Alabama is championships. The standard is not to, win 9 games or win 10 games and everyone's going to be happy and roo-roo and feeling good about it. No, the standard is to make a playoff and have a team that's capable of going to win a national championship. And so the noise is loud, and it's only going to get louder if they don't do what they need to do this weekend. So I'm rooting for them. I know they can do what they need to do. They have the team. They have the talent able to do it. They just have to go out there and do it. You have to be able to run the football. You have to be able to stop the run. All those things is an identity of your team that you have to be able to take on the road against a good Georgia team.
I would say, too, like last year, 8 of the 12 teams that got into the playoff all had multiple losses. You still look, they lost to Florida State, not a non-conference loss. I think this is a big game, but if you look at Bama's schedule, and I probably believe in Bama maybe a little more than Mark at sometimes this year. I think they're a good team. It is a different looking team, right? I mean, they don't run the football very well, which was what they used to do. Obviously,
Ty Simpson was their leading rusher last week. 2 weeks ago.
The 3, I think, toughest teams left on the schedule, they all get at home. To me, the SEC is still pretty wide open with Texas not being as – so I'm a believer. I think Alabama, they win this game. You better start taking them serious, though.
Okay. That gave me hope.
What do you mean
you
old?
a
Are you
Bama
a
early, guys, come
Bama?
on.
Yeah, roll tide.
So why are you a Bama
Tide.
fan?
Because my wife did the Saban documentary, and I like Saban.
Okay.
Saban's gone, all right?
This
Saban's
roll
gone.
damn tide always in favor.
By the way, watching a Bama game with Mark every week is like an emotional roller coaster, man. I was like, welcome to my world watching USC the last 10 years, bro. It is some dark times.
I'm sitting here like, this is what this feels like.
I don't like the identity talk. That's what is
Yeah.
is the red flag. They don't have an identity. They don't feel like Alabama. So it's pretty good. I don't like it. Anyway,
That's true.
Oregon, Penn State. In Happy Valley, it's going to be a whiteout. Everyone's going to be excited. Is this but Penn State's not great against ranked opponents. Is this a must-win for Penn State?
I mean, we were just talking about.
It is, but if they lose, they're still in the.
But that's the
they're
thing.
not
It's
into
No,
the
must win.
playoffs.
Must win. Remember,
I
we do it
think it's,
theoretically must win.
Yeah, it's the weird thing is like James Franklin. You know, there's the narrative is yes, you can't win the big game, and I get that, and he's been pretty bad, terrible against top 5, top 10 teams.
4-20.
4-20, even last year. But we were saying the same thing last year when they played Ohio State. They lost, and they still got to the semifinal game, and they're maybe a couple plays away from getting the national championship game. So that's the expanded playoff has allowed you to lose these types of games and still make a run, which I believe they do. I believe they're probably going to – I think they're going to win this game, to be honest with you guys. I mean, I like Oregon. I don't think this is a must-win in the grand scheme of things. But I think, yeah, the perception – I mean, the narrative and the perception around Penn State is like, hey, you win – you're 10-2 every year, but you just can't win the big one. But I'm just not sure that matters anymore the way the playoff is set.
Is it a must-win? To me, it is a must-win for the belief and the culture of this team. Like, they just feel like you can't get over the hump against these games. 4-20, Drew Aller's 1-5.
But they still –
But if you lose this game, you still have very much a chance to go to the playoff. Like,
for sure,
you lose to Oregon. They're one of the top teams in the country. But I feel like it's a must-win just for the morale of this team, for the belief of this team going forward. You want to be able to – you had 13 players come back. You had Nick Singleton and Katron Allen come back. You had all these players come back. In order for them to have that belief and that confidence to keep moving forward, I feel like you have to be able to win one of these games here in the near future. And so it's not a must-win because if they lose, they still have a chance to go to the playoff. Like you said, they lost 2 games last year and went to the playoff. But at the end of the day, I feel like for the team within the team walls, it's a must-win for the morale of the team.
Perfect must-win.
Yeah,
Again,
perfect. You nailed it exactly. That's
totally
exactly
get it.
right. Yeah.
Mark, you mentioned, the 4-20 James Franklin against top 10 opponents. Do you guys have a theory on why? I mean, he's obviously a very good coach. He got the program back near the top. But why can't they ever seemingly get over the hump against these top teams?
Well, for one, they're in a division they're in a conference with 2 of the last national champions.
Yeah.
So you go up against Ohio State, you go up against Michigan every time, and you have the good players to beat the teams you're supposed to beat, but they just haven't beat the teams that they need to beat. And so that's the difference right now. Can they do it? Yeah, like they have Oregon this week. Oregon struggles against the run. They have Nick Singleton and Katron Allen coming to town. So I think a lot of things are pointing in their favor for this week in this game. But at the end of the day, you have to go out there and do it. It doesn't matter what we say. It doesn't matter what nobody thinks. When they line up and it's good on good and they have players that are equally as talented or better than yours, you have to find a way to win the game, and they haven't been able to figure that out.
I also think, too, like when you look at this, I think Drew Aller is a really good player. He's won a lot of games. I think he's got NFL talent, and I think this is a big moment for him tomorrow night. If he plays well, I think that's just kind of like a big monkey off his back because I've sat with him. He's a great kid, and he's got the talent. I think if you look at like these teams in the last 10 years, they've missed like the guy on the outside, right? They haven't had they've had some guys like Hamler, and they've had, Chris Godwin years ago, but they haven't had a guy on that. Tyler Warren was the guy last year who was an absolute stud, and he's balling in the NFL, but they haven't had like the big playmaker on the outside, right? That's kind of held them back too. They've just been limited in the pass game over the years. That's something that we always talk about. And then at quarterback, they just like, they have to be able to elevate that. Like Drew Aller has to elevate these guys around and be a guy that you can count on in the moment. And I think that's just something that we haven't seen in the big game over the last couple of years. Trace McSorley was a baller, right, for this team years ago, but they haven't found a way, So I think there's more to it. And again, like to Mark's point, Ohio State has been Ohio State. I mean, they've been outstanding. And then Harbaugh had Michigan going up, and Michigan is still really good. So they were stuck in a division, third in that division. If they're in the Big Ten West when there were divisions, they'd be in the Big Ten Championship 10 years in a row. So, look, I think they got a great shot at winning this game tomorrow night, though.
All right, one other huge game one of the other huge games this weekend is LSU Ole Miss. Here's one of the problems with whether it's college football or pro football early season analysis. We bake into how good a team's win was over another team based on how good we think that other team actually is. So week one, right. LSU beats Clemson. We're like, man, what a win by the LSU. And Clemson since then just got dog walked by my Syracuse Orange. Turns out they stink. So
dog walk,
is there any, I guess here's my question. Is there any chance, because LSU obviously hasn't played major competition since then, that LSU is, as far as its ranking, is a touch overrated at the moment, and Ole Miss maybe could expose that mark? It looks like Mark, I want you to answer first because I know LSU, Bama, a little rivalry. I want to hear what you say about it.
Listen, man, I think LSU is a good football team. Their defense, they improved significantly on the defensive side of the ball, and I think that's something that I could be confident in going into Oxford, is that their defense has been strong. Now, Chambliss and this Ole Miss offense, they have been explosive. They have been electric, but they haven't quite faced a defense like LSU's just yet. And on the offensive side of the ball for LSU, Garrett Nussmeier, their offense has been kind of pedestrian, kind of middle of the road, but I still do believe in Garrett Nussmeier, and I do think that this offense will look a lot better in this matchup, especially going against a defense that has allowed 29 points per game and 200 yards rushing per game. So I think Ole Miss has looked really good so far this year, but I also think they haven't played a defense or a team that looks like LSU. So this game could go either way, but I am leaning towards LSU in this game. As much as I don't care about the Tigers, I don't care about Ole Miss either. But I think LSU is going to come to play and be ready to play in this game.
I think like Trinidad Chambliss is the kid. He was a Division II player. Yeah. He's a baller, but this is a tough test. Like this will be – he is at home. This will be a tough test for him against LSU. But, yeah, I'm kind of with you guys too. Just the offense. Like Garrett Nussmeier is really good, but their offense has been very – Mark likes to say mid. They've been very mid this year. So I do think it could be a higher scoring game. I like Ole Miss at home in this one. I think the line is what? Yeah, the line's 1.5. You see it right there. I think it's a toss-up game. But, also Lane Kiffin, just some extra motivation this week as well,
Yeah.
He said take the over.
Right about that.
He did take the over, but I didn't really understand what he was saying on that. Lane Kiffin likes trolling on social media, also getting the family involved, always questionable.
Yeah, I'm just going to leave it at that, boys. He's got some extra motivation this week.
This right up Lane's alley, man. He probably orchestrated this whole thing to get some juice glowing. You know what I mean? Like,
Lane is a smart dude when it comes to that stuff.
Trojans Illini coverage starts at 10, then it's kickoff at noon. Thank you guys. Have a great game. Roll Tide.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you guys,
man. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.